And we're live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 81 of the Tiki Taka Podcast. I'm your host, Peter. Today, joined by Cynthia,
Hi.
Steph,
What's up, guys?
Bruno.
Yes, I'm here. Hello. Hello.
We
Is
can't
everyone
hear
there?
you. We can't
is,
come to the
every,
phone right now.
is everyone there?
No, no one's here. And
No one's there. Okay. Linkage
Team.
himself.
Oh my god, no.
Oh my goodness, no, stop.
Alright, Timo.
What's going on, everybody? How's it going?
There we
And he's
There
our
we go.
surprise guest. We got Barbush. almost Barbush.
Alright, so we got a lot to talk about. Obviously, the Estoril incident, the Benfica game, and the Sporting game. I think we should go straight to business and get into the Benfica game. Because why not? Let's start with the best team first. Alright.
In your opinion,
Of course.
Com a Santa
You
Aliança.
just had to
unbiased-
upset the two of them,
my
didn't you?
very unbiased.
Oh, Steph, é com a Santa Aliança, pá.
Of
A
course.
Santa
Anyway,
Aliança.
moving on.
É a Santa Aliança.
Oh my god, guys, we got no time to waste. Anyway, so Bruno Varela was in goal.
tu começaste, pá. Tu começaste a
I
dizer
didn't
best
say
team.
anything. I didn't say
Olha
anything. I
que
said my
caralho.
very unbiased opinion.
Yeah, clearly
Which
unbiased.
is, I am
É,
very
são 3 de
unbiased.
24 pontos que já estão garantidos antes da época.
I don't know. I don't know.
Vá, fala lá,
What you're
Peter.
implying, but anyway,
Vá,
Bruno
fala
Varela
lá.
was in goal, André Almeida, Ruben Dias, Zardel, and Alex Grimaldo across the back, PZ, Feza, and Krovinovic in the midfield, a front trio of Servi, Jonas, and Salvio. And I'll let the guests go first. Timo, did you watch this game? What did you think of it?
I did watch the game. I watched it on my phone in the middle of taking care of my kids and just hanging out.
I thought you were going to say in the middle of church.
No, that wasn't this game, but
Okay.
I have done that before. So,
Oh my goodness.
Amen.
numerous times for that matter. Even in the middle of a wedding, while I was the.
I would have been so mad at you, Timo. Oh my
It
god.
happens, What can I tell you?
I mean, I left halfway through a wedding to watch the second half of a Benfica Sporting. So
I mean,
Well, hold on a second. How dare they? Don't they know how to check the schedule and invite people? Don't they have any common courtesy?
apparently not.
What? You know what I'm saying, Timo? I mean,
Of course.
don't people check to see if you're going to be busy or not that day?
Wouldn't you check?
I would.
Of course.
That's
We're
why-
a different brand of people, though.
That's
We're a
why I
different
don't
brand
send
of
invites
people.
out.
Yeah, different brand of people. It's all good. So yeah, I did watch the game, and from what I was when I was truly paying attention, I thought Benfica played pretty well for the most part. But the typical second half where Braga got a little bit more, opportunities, more chances, the way Benfica likes to then just sit back after taking the lead. I thought Savio first half okay, second half meh, the usual again. Mistake by Varela where, on that goal, you could have seen from the angle of the camera, obviously watching on TV or on the phone, you could see that ball was curling away from goal. Typically, one of those is never one a goalie will come out for, especially where as it was coming into the box, you could see it would have ended up outside of the 6. If it was in the 6, obviously that's the goalie's all the way. That ball looked like it was getting closer towards the penalty spot. The goalie at that point should really just be hanging on to their line and, being ready for a header. So, that was definitely, in my opinion, even though it was a good header, I think it was more of a pew, 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 a little franguinho.
definitely.
Typical from what we've been seeing from Benfica's goalies this year, with a lapse in judgment. After that, there was another ball that was pretty similar, and if I'm not mistaken, he came out for that one, and he punched it, but he didn't get much on it. Again, lucky that he actually got something on it. Other than that, I mean, what can you say? Almadinho with the great cross and doesn't get enough credit, for his work this year, I don't think. Still think we could do better at right back, but he's not costing us games. He's putting in some pretty good efforts, and then you got Dirge himself and Jonas, who saves Benfica, time and time again. Sorry, I'm driving and it's snowing here, so.
That's all right. That's all right.
If you hear me, it's because I'm trying not to get hit by people as I weave in and out of traffic.
Cuidado com os viados, pá.
Hey, viagem não há.
Há na Ferro Street.
E há montes, pá. E vacas também.
Then the Ferro Street,
Oh my God.
there's a lot of Brazilians. That's why. Yeah.
Aqui há
my
muitos
goodness.
brasileiros. I'm in Providence, a lot of brasileiros.
Brinca na areia, yeah.
Wait a minute. Rhode Island?
I live in Massachusetts, but I work in Rhode Island.
Guys, can we get back on track though?
Tem calma,
Alright.
Pedro. Lá estás tu, estás com os pijamas já outra vez.
Go for it.
My God. All right, Timo. So you were saying, did you?
Yeah, no, so I just thought it was a good effort. I mean, I thought it was another one of typical Benfica against Braga, the way they play. Regardless of what other people think, I just think Benfica has their number, regardless if it's at home or away.
Well, I mean, in 10 years, they only have one win.
What?
Yeah.
In 10 years, they only have one win.
O Braga.
Of course.
Yeah.
What's surprising about that? There's no.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's Santa Aliança.
For you, yeah, exactly.
I mean, what's
Santa
surprising?
Aliança.
What's surprising about
There's
that?
a reason why they call Lampiões do Norte, meu.
Which
É
is
Santa
bullshit.
Aliança,
No,
ó,
it
Peter.
isn't.
Olá, foda-se. O Jefferson, eu pensava que era jogador do Benfica.
Oh, okay. The Sporting player that's loaned out, you thought was a big.
Yeah.
No, Peter.
Nah,
Peter,
the
don't you
best
forget
player-
that Jefferson was loaned out
He
too.
played really bad. That's why he left
Oh.
Sporting.
Okay, that why you blaming Benfica?
No, I'm not blaming Benfica players whatsoever. The administration, yes, but not Benfica
Oh yeah.
players.
Oh,
no.
okay. So Benfica.
Oh, no, but
Sporting player.
Steph, we got to talk about the man of the match. The man of the match, without question, is Danilo. He was the guy that completed the most passes to the Benfica players.
Well, there's a reason why he left in January last year.
Yeah, it's also a reason why he holds onto the ball and looks to get stripped and then doesn't even bother to run back.
Yeah, of course. You guys have all your freaking theories. While Benfica was just a better team by far from the first minute.
Wasn't the performance Danilo put in against Benfica the same performance as he put while playing for Benfica? Same exact player. He just sucks. Same thing.
Exactly.
Can you explain why their best center back, meaning best center back defending and on set pieces, was not even on the pitch that day?
Do I look like I'm Abel?
I don't know. Abel, a única coisa que faltou ao Abel foi o Rui Vitória, walking into the press conference para ele lamber as botas e o cu, mais nada.
Yeah, of course. Listen. Benfica played really well. Braga didn't play like. I remember when Paulo Fonseca tried to play the same style from the back and ended up losing 5-0. That wasn't because Braga wasn't playing anything. It was Benfica was better. Like Benfica was better today. Not today. This weekend, Benfica was the better team. There's no two ways about it. It's not a freaking conspiracy theory. Benfica went out there, high pressure.
Got the job done.
Yeah, very good combinations, 1-2s, diagonal passes, got the 1-0, and then just continued to work. Could have very well been 5-1. Benfica could have scored many more goals. They had the opportunities to. Braga just weren't good enough. Of course, you're all going to say that, but I could also say that Guimarães obviously had very bad games against Sport over the last few years, and I'm not saying that they got some holy alliance. This just makes no sense. Braga is normally a tough team. But ever since JJ left Benfica, we've actually been able to control Braga really well. So, I don't know what you guys want to see about that, but
No, I just want to let Timo finish. He never finished.
No, I'm
yes,
good. I'm
okay.
all set. I just
You
think
good?
Benfica put in their typical performance they do against Braga, and they got the 3 points, and that's the end of that.
It's a good game too. I mean, Benfica plays like that every game, you know, they're not dropping points.
It wasn't Benfica's best game of the year.
No,
by any stretch. I still think Benfica's best game of the year was against Sporting.
Definitely.
Also the 1-0 was it the 1-0 with the Sevilla Frango against Manchester United. I thought that was another good game. Mm-hmm. But I think that was a little bit more of Mourinho allowing Benfica to do more and just sitting back. My opinion. I know other Benfiquistas might just think Benfica had a great game. I just think Mourinho.
It's a bit of a combination of both. I
have my doubts, but this Braga game was a second consecutive good game by Benfica, and if we keep stretching those good performances like this for the rest of the year, anything can happen. It's a great season to watch so far. Considering the top 4 teams are all playing pretty well, and that goes even for our rivals, of whose games I do watch as well. And I'm enjoying just watching, for the most part, good football. And the one thing I would just wish is that certain things would be used. If VAR is to be used for one team, it's to be used for all. And again, all teams have benefited. I just think it's a good year, and we need to stop with all this other garbage of the Santa Alianças, the emails, the vouchers, and all this crap, and just, play ball.
Mm-hmm. I want to let Cynthia go, too, because she hasn't said anything about the game. Cynthia, what do you think?
I was listening to a couple of pilingas, I'll tell you that. Jesus. I had said previously that Benfica tend to do this where we start to get into a stride. And we had a certain Bruno come at me and say, oh, stride, blah, blah, blah. This is what I'm talking about. We have a couple of good games, and once it's a good game against one of the other two, either Porto or Sporting, once it's a good one, it gets into our heads, and our guys start to play. Like, I know I follow David on Twitter, David Pritchett, and he always has those stats, and he's like, we haven't lost, like at the end of last season, he's like, we won like 12 in a row. We won this in a row. Like, we get into a stride, and we need Porto and Sporting to slip. It'll be great. It'll be great. But yeah, Almeida was awesome. I liked watching him play. Jonas, again, like Timo said, he's holding us up right now. I don't know where Pizzi went. I don't know what he's doing. While he's absent, Jonas is completely covering it for him. And I was pleased. Oh no, more Pilingas.
No, yeah, come on, Timo. Anyway, if Jonas isn't the best player in the league, I don't know what you have to do to be the best player in the league. But
Jonas the best player in the league?
There it is. Of course he can't be, because he's in
by
red.
Far. In all terms.
By far.
Yeah, he's the most complete player on all.
I see in Champions League he he absolutely proves it in Champions League.
Did I say the Champions League?
He said in league, smartass.
In the league.
The Champions League. I said in the league. I didn't say
if you're the best player in the league, you dominate in Champions League. That's something he does not do. Sorry, not happening, buddy.
I never got the memo, but all right.
You're telling me that he's been outperforming Brahimi? You're telling me he's been outperforming
everybody? How can you not say that?
Where?
He's got like 20 something goals.
He scores goals against the small teams. Where is he against the big clubs? Nowhere.
Sporting. He scored
on a penalty. On a penalty.
He scored
it's
against
still
Braga.
A goal. Is a goal
a goal?
He scored
against Guimarães.
Braga's big now.
I mean, we had one game against Porto and one game against Sporting. He scored against Sporting. What do you want me to tell you?
A penalty.
We're just going
a penalty.
Yeah,
a penalty.
But we're
other than that, he was not score on the scoreboard. I don't understand.
So tell me why Messi can't score penalties then? Why can't Messi score penalties?
Why is he the best player for you? Is it because he scored 22 goals? Is that
because he gives up.
Did you watch the Benfica game, Steph? Because he sets up plays. It's not just goals. Come on.
Braga made more passes to Benfica.
Oh my God! Here we go with discrediting Benfica. You guys with discrediting
É verdade. É verdade.
Yeah, it's all, yeah.
You guys are just haters.
No.
No, if you look at something with a skewed perspective, obviously you're going to see the way you want to see it.
Did you see the game? Did you see the game Sporting against Braga?
Did you play better against Sporting against Benfica?
You can compare two different games.
That's impossible.
But Benfica played really well in both games, dominated both games, deserved to win both games, and they won one, tied another one.
But Braga let you do that.
Yes, indeed. They passed the ball to you guys instead of passing to each other.
I mean, how many times did Rosic try to really give you guys an assist? How many times? 3?
Unbelievable.
Come on.
Olha.
Why wasn't the starting center back in?
Didn't you see your president almost kissing Salvador? It's like duas putas ali nas bancadas.
Oh, stop. You guys are just being brutal. Come on.
No, we're not.
There's no teams that you think look a little like that towards Sporting or Porto. Like, you guys can't see that at all, right? It's only been
16 games in a row.
There's a reason why we haven't won in 16
Bruno.
years.
Listen to me. Listen what I'm going to tell you.
I'm sorry, because you suck.
No,
you guys said fucking Van Boekel was going to be your fucking guy. He did nothing. You steal JJ. You steal JJ. And all the lot of you on my fucking Twitter were like, woo, we got JJ now. JJ's
Vocês compraram campeonato.
No. Come on. You can't discredit everything we fucking do. Come on.
And you're
I don't get it.
Down,
JJ won for us. Why isn't he winning for you? And you pay him more. I don't understand.
Listen to me. You guys got to relax.
They do.
Listen, you got to relax. Listen, you start the league every year with 24 points more than everybody else. 24. What do you mean?
God, are you
6 points with Braga, 6 points with Tondela, 6 points with Bolonense.
What do you mean? 6 points with Bolonense, 6 points with Setúbal, 6 points with...
6 points with Estoril.
Bro, get the fuck out of here, bro. That's bullshit.
Como?
That bullshit.
Como?
That bullshit. That's bullshit.
Como? 6 points com Moreirense.
Yeah. No, we
got red glasses, but you definitely have blue glasses.
We can win 17 games in a row. Are you guys gonna tell me that we bought those 17 teams, including Porto and Sporting?
No, you didn't win 17 games in a row. Remember, a couple of years ago.
Like, if we win 17 games in a row, what are you gonna say? Are you gonna say that it wasn't deserved, that we bought every single game?
There's a lot of dubious calls. You have to admit that. You have to admit
You're
that.
starting to talk about dubious calls. We can talk about how Artur Soares Dias has completely fucked Benfica last weekend, where he yellow carded André Almeida for one foul, where there were several other Braga players that were playing very physical.
Ainda te queixas mais do Braga. Epa, dá-te o jogo e ainda queixas mais.
That wasn't given in our favor. What do you guys want? You're talking about dubious calls? If you want to start talking...
Ainda queixas
about dubious calls.
Ainda se queixa do Braga, meu. Oh, meu Deus do céu.
If you guys want to start talking about dubious calls, you can start talking about dubious calls. I'm just
come on last week. Didn't guys win and you still came on and complained that you were robbed?
You'll see Braga playing against Sporting and Porto. Até vão comer relva com caralho. Aquilo vai ser...
I just don't remember seeing these guys complain when Benfica won last year with America goal by
Braga
abre as pernas.
Okay. So last year Mitroglou scores a wonder goal.
That's why they call it Pius do Norte. They call it Pius do Norte.
Steph.
Yeah, talk to me.
Last year.
Talk to me, my friend.
Last year.
Don't my friend me. I'm so mad at you.
Wonder goal inside the final 10 minutes. Was that because Braga opened their legs too?
Oh, Vlad, the last 15 minutes. Can you tell our listeners who came in the last 15 minutes for Braga? Try that. Let's start with that. Who came in the last 15 minutes for Braga?
Oh, you guys.
Do you have Asperger's? Why am I expected to memorize this?
And,
well, I'll tell you. It was João Carlos Teixeira. João Carlos Teixeira, by the way, the last time João Carlos Teixeira started, or he stopped starting for Braga, because he was starting for Braga pretty consistent, and then all of a sudden he was taken out of the starting lineup. Why? Because when Salvador started complaining about the lone players, and Pinto Costa called and said, oh, well, I guess he doesn't want lone players, then he could return our player in January. That's it. He started cutting them off. And then Wilson Eduardo. Where was Wilson Eduardo? Where was Hassan?
Who cares about Wilson Eduardo? He's not even close to being one of their best players. Not even close. And Diego Souza isn't even that good either. What?
Who?
Diego Souza and Wilson Eduardo aren't their best.
Oh my God.
Where was Hassan?
What do I know?
Oh yeah, where's o Raul Silva? Onde é que estava o Raul Silva? Anda lá, diz lá, anda lá, diz lá, anda lá. Seja honesto, seja honesto. Be honest.
You hold on to crazy asinine details. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's in your.
So I mean, Cynthia, you're gonna bench your best center back defensively, and the guy that's the biggest threat on set pieces.
You and I are not the damn coaches. We've had this discussion so many times because so many times I don't agree with what they do either. I didn't agree with JJ when he did a few things. I don't agree with RV when he does things. I didn't agree with Kiki Flores when he was our coach too. There are things I don't agree with coaches. That's why I'm not the damn coach.
I mean,
we can analyze it, but they're in the
left midfielder. So did Estoril pay Porto for Lyon to play in the left midfield?
Maybe they did. Maybe Estoril got some money from what should have been the construction fund and gave it to Porto. Does that sound right?
Must have been. We'll talk about Estoril later. We'll talk about Estoril later because he's by the
I don't at all rate Raul Silva. I think he's a terrible center back and he should be probably sent off every single game. He's very aggressive, and I mean he showed it in the Taça da Liga against Benfica a couple of years back. He was just not good.
Peter, can you tell me what center back? What good center back that's not aggressive? Please tell me one. Just one. Just one. I just want one center back in the world that is not aggressive.
Okay, no, I can't mention a Benfica player because you're gonna say that we have the referees in our favor. So I'm not gonna go ahead and say anything.
Oh no, there's like Iwiti.
Fleet. He's not aggressive at all. He never gets cards, so he's not.
Yeah, he can't be aggressive.
He never gets cards. He got red carded the last game. He got a red card in the last game, but he doesn't get red cards.
Finally.
He got his first.
No. The statement was.
Finally,
the statement, and it wasn't, and the second one wasn't even a foul.
Goddamn lumberjack. He's
Bruno,
and the second one wasn't even a foul. Much brunch.
Bruno,
you tell me. But the question was, name me one center back in the world that is not aggressive. One.
They have to be aggressive. Yes.
I mean, but there's about being aggressive. There's about being overly aggressive. Good center backs don't foul.
So you don't have any. Vocês não têm casteiros.
Claro que tem.
Vocês não têm casteiros.
Claro que tem.
I'm just looking at somebody.
O Jardel não é casteiro, por amor de Deus.
Jardel didn't have he had like 2 yellows like 2 years ago where he played like 34 games. But of course you guys are going to say that's the referee, so I'm not even going to bother.
Claro. Então os lugares da liga e por aí fora.
Peraí. You know why are we going to say the referees, Peter? Because you just said it yourself. You just emphasized it. So we don't even have to say. You just said it yourself.
No. I can't argue a Benfica player because you're going to say that, the referee did this or the referee did that. That's why he didn't get any yellows.
I don't. So first of all, I don't talk like that.
I'm not talking
Peter.
about you.
No, we hear you.
Steph. Hold on, Steph. Ask him this, Steph. Steph, ask him this question because I'd love to know Peter's take on this. I really want to know. I'm very curious. I want to know why. Orelhas is now telling the media not to talk about the emails. Why? If it's not true,
court, bud. How often do they
say? If it's not true, then why are you telling the media not to talking about it? What do you mean? You can't tell what the media what to write and what not to write.
That's why
you can't say that.
Why not?
You're trying to hide something.
Everybody does it.
That's why they keep.
You're trying to hide something.
It's a free country.
I'm not trying to hide nothing, Bruno.
He can't tell the Benfica newspaper not to say it. That's it.
He can. That's about it.
That's about it.
It's a free country, man.
And they listen.
Okay. Hey, Bruno. Time out. Cynthia, did you give you 2 cents about the Benfica game? Because we'll never get out of here.
Yeah, she did. She was talking about the stride and all that.
Okay, so Peter, did you put your 2 cents about the game, Benfica game?
I mean, basically, I just wanted to say that Andre Almeida is out for the next game against Chaves because he got a yellow card.
Yeah,
and
you got the 5th yellow card?
Yeah, and I think
yes, because he's such a nice man.
Yeah.
See, Bruno, he's nice. He doesn't get red cards and try to chop people's legs off.
Next game,
he gets 5th yellows, though.
Exactly, 5th yellow.
In the Champions League, he tried chopping the guy.
Timo, you're supposed to help me.
No. See, I'm an Almedinho's fan, but you got to give him credit when he does something dumb too.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Bruno, do you have anything to say, bro?
Does he have
Well,
anything?
I honestly, I honestly,
much covered it.
I honestly think that this game was completely rigged and fixed and combined. It was. It wasn't bought. It was rented out. The game was rented out. The game was rented out.
Like Blockbuster?
Okay,
yeah, like Blockbuster.
Okay.
All right.
You go. I mean, it was a terrible performance by Braga. I mean, let me ask you, Braga having an opportunity at home to play to capture third place, and that's the performance you come out with. I mean, you hear what's his name, Luis Freitas Lobo, the commentator on Sport TV, saying Abel is ordering his team to circulate the ball so they can win confidence to attack. By the way, they're losing 1-0 already at home, and you're telling the team to circulate the ball to win confidence to attack?
How many teams don't do that? Like, how many teams don't do that?
Well, I'm sorry. When you're losing, you play direct. You don't play to circulate the ball.
But how many teams don't do that?
What do you mean? You find me one team that's losing and circulate the ball.
You know what? You just rather kick the ball like you guys were doing against Studios. Just put the ball forward because you don't have Brahimi. That's what they should do too. Put the ball forward. Hope for a
were they getting out of their half?
Goal.
Peter, were they getting out of their half?
But that was because of Benfica's pressure. What does that have to do with...
What pressure? I mean, you have Danilo on the ball on the first goal with two guys wide open.
No, we got to move on.
No. I have to explain the story.
No, you're just going to
hold on a second. I have to explain to our listeners. I have to explain to the listeners.
That was also a throw-in for Benfica that he called for Braga. Just want to point that out too, just in case you guys want to start bullshits.
Listen, I have to explain to the listeners what I saw. And what I saw was Danilo. How do you have a center defensive midfielder? Hold on. You have a center defensive midfielder with two wide open center backs with no pressure, and you're dribbling the ball slowly in the middle of the park, waiting for Benfica players to challenge you.
You have some.
He had no pressure.
Nasty blue goggles, bro.
Hold on a second. He had no pressure. Well, he had no pressure at the beginning.
Pressure was.
Excuse me.
By two players.
Excuse me. By two players. Why was he dribbling when you have two guys wide open in the back? So if you have pressure,
you don't have ball.
Peter, you have pressure. You're gonna go. Hold on a second. You're going into pressure. No, he's dribbling into pressure. You don't dribble into pressure. Either you get the ball and you play a one-time pass back to the wide open man, or you kick the ball out, but you don't try to dribble in the middle of the park when you're feeling pressure. By the way, he did not feel pressure.
Right. This is a very Benfica polvo thing to do.
Okay, listen. Are you done? Are you done, Bruno?
We need to move on.
No, he's teaching our listeners.
We need to move on though, because we still have your bullshit game and my game.
Yours is a bullshit game, Steph.
my bullshit game. You got your tissues ready?
Tissues.
I don't. What's the tissues for? Am I going to cry or
because I'm going to hear a lot of crying. I'm going to hear a lot of crying.
You need a lot of toilet.
You guys are the one crying about it, not us.
Okay, listen. I'm going to wrap it up.
The tissues are to stuff in the cracks of the walls.
Is my nada. Okay, olha. The Braga Benfica game. Benfica no doubt played better. The players did not at fault. When we talk about behind the scenes, I never speak about the players. It's mostly about maybe a president or some administration dudes, but never the team. But the game itself, Benfica played better. Could Braga play better? Yeah, I've seen them playing better.
We've all seen them play better.
I don't know why against Benfica they play so shitty. But what I hope for Braga is that they go to the second division, because they have two faces. They play shitty against Benfica, but when it's against Sporting or Porto, they play really great. So now, let me finish.
Finish.
So that's all I gotta say. I've seen Braga playing much better. The statistics show that Braga had more misses passes than good passes. And I don't know. I'm not gonna say it's a fixed game, but something was fishy. And that's all I got to say about the game. That's all.
All right. So we can move on. I just want to say that hold on, Bruno. I just want to say, as we move on, that I totally agree with Timo. And I was watching the game. I had the exact same idea. I thought Daniel had a very, very, very poor game. And it just reminded me of most of the games that he had with Benfica, where he was very subpar, and there was a reason why he didn't stay at Benfica. Whether you guys want to, make this whatever you want, I think Daniel isn't as good as we thought he was going to be. And he was just showing what he's bad at, what he's extremely bad at.
Hey, Peter, I'm just going to mention two things, okay? One thing, Abel said, I don't even know Sergio Conceição, and they worked together for 6 months. Why would he say that? Was it Cartilha? Did somebody tell him to say that?
Why would anyone?
I don't know. I mean,
yeah, but maybe he just means like he doesn't know him. Like no, I don't know you outside of 6 months. Come on, you could change after that.
No. He said, eu não conheço pessoalmente. They worked together for 6 months.
You can work with someone and not be friends with that person.
So maybe he didn't go to his barbecue after work. Come on.
You see, my take on this would have been different if you asked me the question. I would have said, well, Abel Xavier is full of shit. But your take on it is defensive all the time. You're always defending your club. Don't matter what it is. They could be guilty tomorrow, and you're going to defend them.
Well, but Steph, why does everything have to be an accusation? I'm going to come defensive because everything.
He was caught on a lie, Abel
Freire. Abel Freire.
He was caught on a lie.
Former Sporting player, by the way.
And I say I don't know the outside of work.
Former Sporting player. He played for Sporting, but before that, he played where?
I just remember him as a Sporting player. That's
o último clube foi o Sporting, mas antes disso, onde é que ele jogou?
I don't know. I remember him at Sporting.
Então vai saber depois disto. But anyway.
I'm not doing homework.
Tu viste o Salvador a correr lá para baixo na conferência de imprensa como fez no Sporting? Não viste, pois não?
Of course, because he has reasons to complain. Move on. Let's move on.
Aí está a diferença, estás a ver? Se tu abris os olhos, tu vês as diferenças. Como tu não queres abrir os olhos, tu não vês, meu.
Take off your green glasses and everything won't be an accusation.
We gotta finish.
Salvador com o Benfica porta-se bem diferente.
Several games Benfica struggled massively to win at Braga. Massively.
They've won the last 10 of 11 games at Braga.
Okay, but how can you say, for example, that last year where we scored with the Mitroglou wonder goal that we didn't struggle to win? That they spread their legs.
Bruno, can you mute when you're eating your damn chips over there? I know. Swear to God, like you're killing me here.
I know.
Not chips, it's plastic.
Estás a comer plástico? Estás com uma fome do caralho, meu, comer plástico.
Anda lá, a tua análise é bom e eles estão todos, já estão todos com o cu apertado. Anda lá, continua.
Não, qual é o próximo jogo? O Sporting? Vamos lá então.
Yeah, move on to Sporting.
Ok, vamos lá então. Falar de alegrias, que tristeza já muito.
Okay, hold on a second. One last comment. We have to also remember who the last Braga coach was to beat Benfica.
Who was the last
Braga coach? And that's Sergio Conceição.
It was
Sergio Conceição. Move on.
Wow.
Foi o Sérgio Conceição.
Sérgio Conceição. You know why?
Foi o Sérgio Conceição que deu o aval para o Abel e aliás, foi ele que não conhece lado nenhum. Não, estás a perceber?
Listen, Peter, you got to understand. Peter, you got to understand something.
One bad game.
We all, Peter, we got to understand something. We all know how Sergio Conceição's personality is, and he's not the type to throw a game. Because he even did that with Porto. He tried to beat them. He tried to beat them with Guimarães, and he tied them. He tried it with Olhanense.
Hold on.
He would do it to Porto.
That's why when they were talking about the Santa Aliança a couple of years back, he punched the table and he said, "I won't allow you to speak that way about my team and about me, because I am not a sellout."
Did Abel do that?
And he lost.
Did Abel do that?
He lost Benfica. I'm just saying, bro. He
also beat him. No, and by the way, I think you got it confused because it was Porto. That was what he was talking about.
It wasn't.
So by what you guys are saying here, that Sergio Conceição tried to beat Porto when he was at Braga.
Always. He always did. He always did. Didn't matter if he was Académica, Olhanense, Guimarães, Braga, don't matter.
Let him finish, Bruno.
Calma. So by you saying that, I can then go back to the JJ days at Benfica, and now I know why contra o Sporting era sempre jogo para empatar. JJ was showing his true colors then when he was at Benfica. He was okay tying Sporting. He didn't want to beat Sporting in those days. Is that what you're saying?
That's how I hear it.
Well, you can hold on a second. Timo.
No, hold on. Just the way you're saying it. You're saying that Abel is technically a Benfica, so he was throwing that game. So I guess hold on.
So no, Steph, please let me answer. Let me answer.
So then, no, you can in a second. So then every time JJ played against Sporting and he played with a double pivot, trying to play for a tie, he really wasn't.
Can I answer? Can I answer?
Throw the game.
You can apply that.
No, because listen, Timo.
Follow.
Jorge Jesus, if you're going to use that criteria, we can use it right now reverse when he's on Sporting versus Benfica. Because he had the lead, he took out Gelson, and he let Benfica tie the game.
Yeah.
Because he gave the midfield.
Exactly.
Okay, so if you want to go down that road, please do. We have a good argument.
But see, here's the point. You can say that about any coach. You just made my point even more valid.
Yeah.
You can say it about
How was that?
every
my point
coach.
even more valid.
You just totally confirmed
every coach.
point. Yeah.
Exactly, because every coach makes mistakes at one point or another.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a Benfica through and through. I have it tattooed on my arm. Okay. If I was a good if I was a good enough player, and I was to play for Porto Sporting, you think I would try and throw the game? Hell, fucking no. And I'll tell you why. Because that's not how I'm made. I play indoor soccer, okay? And I have had games where I played for other teams where, depending on the standings, it screws up who you play in the playoffs. You think I throw any games for those other teams that I fill in for?
No.
Hell no. Why? Because I have more pride than that. Because it's not about what people are accusing other coaches of doing and, opening up their legs for Benfica. It's not about that. A coach doesn't want that loss on their resume. Come on, man.
You're missing a major one.
But Timo,
hold on a second, Timo. You're missing.
But not everyone is like
exactly.
You.
Not everyone's like you. Not everybody's like you. Everybody's got a price for something.
Nah.
And these Braga players, I'm sorry, Jefferson. If I was a Sporting fan, I'd be pretty pissed off because did you see the difference between Esgaio and the other three defenders?
You know who pays their wages? You know who pays Jefferson's wages? It's Sporting.
No, it's Braga.
Hold on a second.
It don't matter.
Did you see
the bullshit where they pay 100% of the wages? That's bullshit.
They do pay 100%. Yes,
of course. Yeah, believe that.
Yeah. How do you
just
know?
Like
that?
how Nani,
how do you know?
Just how Nani, Manchester United paid 100% of Nani too.
How do you know? Did you hack the payroll?
Are we stupid? Were we born yesterday?
Because we're polvo, querido.
Were we born yesterday?
No, they hacked into your computer, not Sporting.
Peter, you guys. I know you guys are not going to agree.
Why do you think Jefferson was loaned to Braga?
Because he sucks. Because he's terrible.
Exactly. Thank you.
That's why he's at Braga.
Okay, so he sucks.
That's why he had a bad game. He sucks.
Dude, Jefferson always put the same exact type of performance when he was at Sporting against Benfica. Why? Because it's Jefferson. Jefferson is terrible. He's a terrible soccer player. He's awful.
He was my background photo when he was pissed off that we scored.
I remember
you made the comment about Esgaio. I watched that game and Esgaio was trying everything in his power to beat Benfica.
He was.
Okay? Mm-hmm. But there's a difference. Esgaio actually has something in him. He's got some talent, but even more so, he's got that venom. He has that hatred, that vitriol for Benfica. So he tried. Now Jefferson, he tried, but he just doesn't have talent. That's the big difference.
Okay, so what about Rosic? And what about Bruno Viana? Are you going to compare their intensity versus Esgaio? I mean, he was yelling at them on the third goal. Did you see how the center backs defended that? He's all alone with two guys. The center backs stop in the middle of a cross. And just watch Jonas score the goal. What center back stops in the middle of a cross?
And that's between the blind spots of both center backs. It's a great position by Jonas.
Who ripped the center back?
Hold on. It could have been defended better, but the one thing I'll say is the cross was perfect. The cross was put to where nobody else could get to it.
It was a good cross.
Not even Esgaio.
Incorrect. Because if the other center back dropped like he should have, he would have been able to at least make some type of play on the ball.
No, foi apanhado de surpresa, meu.
Dude, come on. You see on the.
I'm not taking anything away from the cross. Hold on, Timo, you're misunderstanding. I'm not taking anything away from the cross. No, you're missing the point. The point is that the center back didn't do the most the best he possibly could to make a play on the ball. He never challenged the ball.
You're already losing 2-1. You want him to hurt himself?
No, that's
3-2. What do you mean? The ball's in the air. What is he going to get hurt? What's he going to hurt? His head?
Brun, that's a very difficult play. If we're going to scrutinize him, obviously, every single goal there's a mistake. But I think that's one of those plays where, honestly, I think the cross was extremely well placed, and Jonathan Cesar was very good. Of course, if you're going to scrutinize the play, you're going to say, "Oh, the center back maybe could have been an inch to the left or an inch to the right, and it would have made the play."
But that's how you score. Yeah, but that's how you score goals. You score goals because the other team makes mistakes.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm not questioning the goals at all whatsoever. Please understand that.
I know, Steph. We're just trying to.
The first one you're not. The first one you're not.
I'm questioning the intensity of the Braga players. That's all. I think Braga, when they play against Sporting or Porto, they play much better. They give it 100%.
Maybe they hate you guys.
But, well, yeah, apparently.
Also, they're not supposed to hate Benfica? So they're not supposed to hate Benfica?
Cynthia, come on.
I'm just saying, what if they hate them more than they hate Benfica?
Hold on, let Timo speak.
Most of the Braga fans and Benfica fans, you know that.
Steph, just let Timo speak.
How many of the smaller teams, okay? The small fish. How many of those teams put their best performances against Benfica?
All of them. Jesus Christ.
All the time.
So, no. Valence don't. Tondela don't.
Dude, Brunette's just terrible.
All of them. That is the most outrageous thing I've ever heard.
My indoor soccer team, my over 30 indoor soccer team could put 6 goals on Brunette's.
Já viste o Marítimo jogar contra Benfica?
Yeah, we lost to them last year, didn't we?
Jogo que não interessava para nada.
What?
Nada, para nada.
Are you crazy? We lost
para nada. What? Nada.
No, you're
insane.
Check again. We lost away.
Everybody lost away
to Marítimo.
Again, that didn't matter, bro.
And Sporting tied.
Didn't matter.
How do games not matter?
It did matter. It was in the first half of the season. It was in the first half of the season. What are you on about?
All points matter, man. Like
you're talking about this season?
No, I'm talking about last year, bro. Last year.
You guys lost to them last year?
Yeah, we lost 1-0. 1-0 or 2-1, something like that. But we lost. We lost. I remember losing. It was in the first half of the season. Steph, it was in the first half of the season.
Was that the one with was that the inauguration of the bancada? That's what it was? Was it that game?
Yes, that's
why. You know why, Peter, they lost? They tried to win that game? Because you never want to be attached to a negative thing when you're inaugurating something. You got to try.
I'm sorry, but we can't argue because you keep finding holes in everything. It's ridiculous.
O Bruno é forte nisso, isso é verdade.
Hey,
Bruno, nada. This is a pain in the ass.
Can I tell you something?
Just let Timo finish. Okay, if Timo finish off then.
You're worse than the Hillary defenders.
Listen, you know what? I speak the truth and it bothers people.
Details. Jesus Christ.
It doesn't bother people. I think you're just trying to scrutinize things too much.
Keep going with it, buddy. I like it. I like people that can do that. Ruffle defenders. Ruffle all those.
That's what I do. I stir the pot.
He doesn't have his own account, and then people send me the hate mail. So I need him to get his own account so he can get his own hate mail.
He's not going to.
Why am I the secretary?
Steph, you got to do Sporting, bro.
Okay, so let's go. Vamos falar então do Sporting Clube de Portugal. So,
exactly.
If you guys don't know and you're Portuguese, you're not Portuguese. Anyway, so between the tribes, Rui Patricio.
Technically, I'm American. I was born in the U.S., so.
Yeah, you tell him. You tell him.
That's fine.
Yeah, but remember, Sporting is not the only team that has Portugal in their name.
No, I never said that. Did I say that?
But there's a lot of Sportingistas that do say that.
Facts.
Well, I never said that. I never said that. So
I never said you said that. I didn't say you said it. I just said that a lot of Sportingistas say that. A lot of Sportingistas say that.
Listen. We don't have our mascot. A nossa mascote não é símbolo de animal que não existe, ó meu.
Claro que existe. Komodo dragon.
Guys, let's get back to what matters.
We're going to have a mascot war? Oh my gosh. Only if you guys actually dress up like the mascots and have a war.
Fuck out of here.
Who's Pelingas fora?
Ask Bruno.
There we go, the Pelingas again.
Oh God.
Ask Bruno. Ele está a dizer que os dragões existem na China. Na China ao caralho, meu. Anyway, Rui Patrício.
É no Japão, pá. É no Japão.
Japão é Toyotas e o Mitsubishi. Toyota,
She's so young. That's her name. She's so young.
Já acabaste?
All right. Yeah, can we move on now?
No, we can't because Bruno's got little tidbits on everything.
He's good at this. I like it.
No, Timo, what are you doing?
Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him. He's insufferable.
You know me. I'm the most unbiased, soccer fan there is when it comes to Portuguese soccer. I can't hate on anybody. It's just the way I'm built, Make love, not war.
No, but it's fun, man. Yeah, and it's fun.
No, exactly. If you take anything...
He does like to take it a little far, and he doesn't take off his blue goggles, but other than that, he's all right.
Trust me, he doesn't take it as far as some people do, so,
Oh, no, definitely. There are worse. You're right.
Come on. Let him have his fun. It's been many years since he got to celebrate something, so let him celebrate.
All right, Steph, tell me about
what I celebrate. I'm going to be celebrating in a couple of months. When I see you guys in the second division, and then you're going to be like, eu sou do Beira-Mar, eu fui sempre do Bolonenses, eu sou do Estoril.
Second division, you're in there too, Bucko.
Timo, where you from originally? Timo, where you from originally? Like your parents? No, your parents.
My parents.
São Miguel, querido.
São Miguel.
Até és do Santa Clara. Não te preocupes, vai ser do Santa Clara desde pequenino.
That's okay.
Filial do Benfica.
I'm not a Santa Clara fan.
Já não é, Steph, já não é. Já desistiram disso.
No, Benfica all the way, no matter what, baby.
Até na terceira.
Bruno, shush. Let Steph go. Steph.
Okay, so here we go. So the Sporting Aves game, which we won 3-0, the lineup was Rui Patrício, Piccino, Machir, Coates, and Fábio Cointral. Midfield, we had William Carvalho, Bruno Fernandes, wingers, Gelson Martins, Acunha, and then up top we had Bas Dost and Ruben Ribeiro. So the game started off with Aves playing in a counter-attack mode. They played on a 4-3-3. They could have scored initially. They had the first chance for goal. And if they did, it would have been a different game. Good thing they didn't. So Bas Dost scored in minute 31st. So at halftime, we were winning 1-0. Then second half, we scored again minute 52nd with Bas Dost again. And then he finished off the game at minute 90, scoring a hat-trick. Overall, Sporting played well, full of confidence. Aves in the counter-attack was very lethal. They could have scored a couple times, but we never deviated from our game plan, and we won fair square, and a great performance by Bas Dost again. And the only player I would like to see a little bit more is from Podense. By now, I was expecting much more from him. But besides that, I have nothing else to say.
Podense didn't have much time, right? He came in towards the end, 6 or 7 minutes.
Only 10 minutes, but I'm talking about up to now, all the games he's played. It looks like at times with certain tactics, he's kind of lost on the pitch. And by now, he should know how to fit into the team, blend in. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. He's taken a long time to assimilate the process given by JJ. So with all the games he's been given, all the chances, I was expecting a little bit more from him, especially scoring goals. He's still missing, a lot of goals. So that's what I mean.
You want to trade him for Rafa?
No, claro que no.
Okay, you want to talk about missing goals? Take a Rafa.
No. Listen, Rafa is a good fit for Benfica. I don't want to take him away.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, thanks.
Yikes.
Anyway.
I don't really have anything to say about this game. I didn't watch it. I didn't waste my time with it, so
I can tell you.
It wasn't a waste of time. It was
that's really nice to say.
So possession.
It is actually nicer than what you've been saying.
Yeah, you're a great host.
So if you want some stats, I got them up.
Yeah. Tell us stats.
68%, 68 to 32 in possession. Sporting corners was 4-7. Sporting then Aves, so Aves with 7. Shots on target, Aves with 3, Sporting 2. Fouls was pretty even, 14-13. Sporting with 1 more foul committed, and Aves with 3 offsides, and Sporting with 1.
Well, why didn't you bring up the stats for? Why didn't you bring up the stats for Braga Benfica?
Because I was driving. Now I'm home.
Oh, we can go back to that in a little while.
You want me?
Of
I can pull
course
it up.
you want to.
No,
I'm
after this we can. Yeah.
Oh my
Shit,
god, are you
I can pull it
serious?
up right now for you.
Yeah, after this we can. So let's finish this segment. Enough for Benfica for now.
Okay, I got a question, and this is just me, like,
being a
just
shit
asking
disturber.
this.
Yeah.
But you didn't watch the game, so what kind of question would it be?
It's going
I
to be
watched
very
the
interesting.
highlights.
It's going to be very interesting when I give you the stats for Braga Benfica because
Thank you.
Braga's stats were actually better than Benfica's.
All right, but we'll get to that in a moment. So,
Yeah.
But that's not possible.
you guys remember where the Bastos penalty against Stubble?
The push from behind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much different was the Coentrão's one this weekend?
Coentrão?
Yeah.
Wait, I thought you didn't watch the game, so how do you know about that?
I watched the highlights, bro.
What is it? A big
Everyone watches the
secret once
highlights.
it's done?
So what do you want me to say? You want me to go into the brain of that referee and check it out?
No, I just want your opinion. That's it.
My opinion, like I give.
If you say it's not a penalty, I'll just say it's not a penalty. I'm not going to talk about the play. I just want your thoughts.
Okay, so are you done?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys, I'm going to give you both the time.
Enough of the hostility, guys. Let's
you guys are out of control.
To be honest, I was just asking, but anyway.
Epá, quando tu fazes uma pergunta, tu fazes uma pergunta em três, and you break it down in three pieces.
That's true.
Anyway.
That's true.
Yeah, I know.
He was giving you context, you know?
Oh, context.
Já sabes.
Context é pilinha. Anyway, olha.
I'm going to start sending dick pics now. right into the chat. Watch this.
Bruno,
Oh my God, no.
Bruno,
no, he's got his mic muted.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, he's just got his mic muted.
Deve estar a cagar. Anyway.
Peido.
Estavas a dar a peida. O quê? Oh, o penalty. O penalty could have been a 50-50. Stop, Cynthia. Assim faz-me rir.
Well, like, focus, man. Like, we asked you a question, and then you're like, la, la, la.
It could have been a 50-50. He could have caught penalty. He didn't, but it could have been. Yes, I agree.
All right. Okay, that's it. I don't have anything else.
See how easy that was?
No, he's gonna fight tooth and nail, man. My lord.
But if I was Benfica, I would have said no. It was not a penalty. No way. No way. It was a penalty. That's the way you guys are. You defend everything.
Hey,
it's obvious.
That is not true.
You always get shitty, and then you say we're all like that.
Do not say everyone.
No, not now, you, Timo. Now you.
No. You can't even say all of them because a majority of them probably don't think that way. So every team has their asshole or fuckhead fans that only sees through that color lens. Okay, so let's not blanket everyone because I have. Hold on, I got Sportingistas in the family and I got Portistas in the family, and for the most part, the Portistas don't see through blue. Yet the green see through green, and thank God I didn't follow my uncles and become Sportingista because I'd be just as miserable as those bastards. But anyway.
you would have been actually a different person. You would have been much happier because now you could have told yourself, you see, I can say I haven't won for 16 years, but I don't belong to a club that's corrupted.
My dude, yeah. I'm a Red Sox fan. I went 86 years without winning. So beat that.
You got some time to go there, Steph.
No, I know. I don't really follow.
At least you're not a Mariners fan.
I don't really follow baseball. I was born in Portugal.
And then a Bruins fan, too.
Remember that?
Who didn't win.
You just told me a little while ago you don't know Sporting Club of Portugal because you're born in America. I don't know who the Red Sox are. I was born in Portugal.
Yeah, that's cool.
Timo, at least you're not a Mariners fan. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, true story.
I don't know who the Red Sox. Red Sox is kind of a funny name.
Yeah, you know who they are. They're the ones who win the trophies in Portugal.
No, I don't know who they are.
I swear to God, is Bruno eating again?
No, that's
no.
He's on mute.
Damn it. I have to go get snacks or something. All I hear are snacks this whole time.
All right,
you're obsessed with me. I'm convinced, Cynthia. You're
obsessed with you.
Timo, give
Bruno, tell me more.
Give Steph the stats for the Benfica game.
Not Steph, the fans and you guys.
Okay, it's for everyone.
No, it's for Steph.
So, possession was 56 Braga, 44 Benfica. Corners were 4 to Braga, 2 to Benfica. Shots on target, 5 to Braga, 4 to Benfica. Shots wide, 4-4. Fouls, 14-12. Offsides, 3-1. And obviously, if I'm saying 3-1, that's 3 to Braga, 1 to Benfica. So it wasn't as bad as what many people seem to think.
Timo,
yeah,
I have
no,
a
they
question.
rolled over.
I'll be the first one to say that possession doesn't mean shit.
Timo, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Most of those shots, when were they taken?
From outside the box.
Braga. No, when time wise.
Towards the end of the game, when Benfica already had the 3-1.
Okay. Toward the end of the game, that means when João Carlos Teixeira and Wilson Eduardo were in, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Question.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to know.
Question.
You're welcome.
Question. Did you know that both of them were going to get into the game when it was 1-0?
They should have been in the game from the beginning. That's my point.
Doesn't matter. Coaches make.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
He was fixing a mistake. He thought that those players could help the team. He was going to bring them on when it was 1-0. What's your argument?
Or maybe he wanted them to rest.
Why?
Like some of these teams don't have as much depth as the rest of us, man. Come on.
They're not going to rest players against Benfica, Cynthia. You don't rest players.
I'm just fucking saying. Jesus
That's not a good argument, though. That's not a good argument.
Well,
whoa.
Fine. Then get in the boat with Bruno, and I'm just going to sink you guys.
It's an anti-Cynthia conspiracy.
I know. What the fuck just happened here? I'm going to go get snacks. Screw you guys.
I'm not against you, Cynthia. I drove 9 hours to go meet you.
I know. I got to hug the beard. It was so exciting.
No, that was fun. That was a fun time.
I met her first.
Oh, good for you.
Joke's on you. I'm just playing with you guys. All right, so we're done with this Sporting and the Benfica bullshit, and we can move on.
Oh no! Does that mean we're gonna go to Estoril?
We got it.
No, I don't think anybody's going there for the rest of the year. The stadium's falling apart.
I wonder what happened. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, 100%.
Hey, before we get into
we visited there in May too.
How funny were all the gifts that people were putting on Twitter? Can we just start with that?
Oh my gosh, the Pinta Costa one farting, I died.
Listen, I'm one who loves funny shit, funny gifts and things that crazy things people put on Twitter. You know, I laugh at more stuff about, Aurelius than I do about anything else, but that was probably the funniest gif I've ever seen of Pinta Costa. That just cracked me up. I mean, I saw it and I busted out laughing. I mean, my little brother-in-law, who's a Portista, and my father-in-law, who's also a Portista, should I say, saw that GIF, and dude, the laughter was just insane. I mean, we got a gag out of that.
I should have seen that. If you find it, you gotta send it to me because I didn't see it. The only thing that I saw was him on the phone and saying, "Can't we postpone this game until Brahimi's fit?" And I thought that was funny too. But all right.
Okay, go ahead, Bruno. The floor is yours, my man.
Oh no.
Jose Sá in goal, Maxi Pereira, Felipe, Diego Reyes, and Alex Telles at the back. It was Danilo and Hector Herrera in the middle. Ricardo Pereira and Miguel Ayun on the outside. Marega and Abubakar up top.
Babubi.
All right,
So I mean, the game. I mean, it obviously Porto didn't play very well, and the first goal came on a foul that I thought was a little unnecessary by Reyes. Again, I keep on saying, anyone that thinks that Reyes is a good center back, they're out of their mind. I don't think he's good at all. He makes a lot of mistakes. That was a big mistake. You can't make a mistake like that. And they came out, and then the goal was actually kind of a frango from Jose Sá. He didn't read the ball well. I think he was anticipating across to the first post, and the ball went to the second post. And by the time he made a play on it, the ball was already over his head and into the goal. As for that, when Porto started pressing, the half game, Porto had some chances. They could have buried the chance. They were a little unlucky. Marega, he scores some good goals, but when it seems like when the pressure's on, he buckles under pressure. He's not a pressure type player. He needs to be more relaxed for him to produce. Estoril played very, very well. I want to see that Estoril against other clubs. I want to see that intensity against other clubs because the intensity normally is not there against other clubs. So I want to see if that will continue or if it's going to be different going forward.
Thankfully, they got a good manager now. I'm very much fond of Vieira. I like him. So.
Well, I mean, já também o Dica que é benfiquista.
Oh my God.
You know, he already threw himself.
Yeah, vai abrir as pernas. Estou.
Oh, without question.
Yeah, of course.
Without question. O Abel também estava a fazer lugar.
Next time, Timo, we're just gonna ask him like which coaches aren't going to spread their legs, and they're gonna say JJ Sergio Conceição.
No. I'll tell you here to answer your question. I'll tell you the clubs. The clubs is Tondela, so that's 6 points. Braga, that's 6 points. Belenenses, that's 6 points. Setúbal, 6 points. Estoril, 6 points. Já estão em 30.
You know what? You just pointed out teams that Porto has zero difficulty to beat the last, 5-10 years.
Estoril, difficult.
They barely drop points.
Yeah, but they win on merit, Peter.
Estoril, difficult.
Porto always wins on merit.
Estoril, difficult. Braga, difficult, right?
Barely.
Braga doesn't come. Braga doesn't
well, you
come
were losing
to Porto,
1-0, so they
or we
gotta
go
be
there and we don't struggle. Eles não comem a relva contra o Porto. O Belenenses, no, never. O Belenenses never comes.
You guys
abrem as
like
pernas
5-0 every single game, bro.
What 5-0? We've tied them the last couple of years away.
You had I remember Kevin.
Tondela, we've always struggled
saying
with.
that you guys had a very poor game when you ended up tying. I think you tied them, and you were very lucky because one of the players actually committed a penalty. I remember people coming on the podcast and saying that they played bad. Like it's not my fault that they play bad against Tondela. It's sometimes the little teams get the points not because they play well, but because the big clubs don't do their jobs too.
Yeah,
that's
agreed. But
too.
You to say that those clubs Porto doesn't drop points, I just completely obliterated your point.
Go ahead, like you can try and obliterate it again. But anyway, so moving on to the game, I'm not gonna say much to add to your point. I just want to say that José Sá, 9 out of 10 times that the player that tries that, the ball doesn't go in. So to blame him, I feel is a little bit harsh. Obviously, he needs to have be a step back. But like I said, it's 9 out of 10 chances that ball goes wide, hits the post, or doesn't even make it that far. So I think it's harsh to blame him. I don't know. What do you guys want to say about the first half?
I mean, I honestly think that the guy tried to go and cross the ball to the far post.
Maybe. It's just,
you know what I'm saying?
So it's just I just find it harsh to blame him on that one because most of the time.
No, you have to blame him because the guy stepped forward. He was anticipating the ball being crossed at the near post, and the guy actually hit it far post.
But if he shanked it,
no, I think he was looking. I think he was looking to cross the ball far post, but it just happened to go in.
Yeah, he shanked it. So if he shanked it, you can't blame the goalie, really.
No, you can blame the goalie because he had responsibilities on that one. You can't give up a ball. You can't give up a goal like that.
I'll ask another goalkeeper. I'll ask Timo. Timo, what do you think of the play, bro?
I actually didn't see it. I'm trying to find a video on YouTube.
Ah, okay.
Was it on a corner? What was it on?
It was a
free
God
kick?
damn it! It was a free kick. It was a free kick outside the box. Wide
on the right.
On the right. Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can find a video.
Probably on
this game. I didn't get to. This game I did not get to watch because obviously it was during the day while I was at work. So.
Steph, did you watch the play? What do you think? Do you blame Jessa on the play?
Not really. It's like a 50-50. It was a good goal by the striker of Estoril. I don't really blame José Sá. I think the one by Varela against Braga was worse than this one.
That one's totally
like Varela, he shouldn't have gone out of the pipes. He should have stayed.
He almost,
back.
yeah. No, dude, that's. I mean, Sa could have maybe done better, but he's protecting his near post there. I got a good video of it. Let me see this angle now. No, dude, I don't know. You know what? That's a tough one. I think that ball was just perfectly placed, dude. That's a nice free kick.
But I think he honestly was trying to cross the ball to the second post. It just happened to go in.
It's possible. I mean, yeah, dude, that ball had so much bend on it. I don't think that's a front.
Bruno, you wouldn't know. Timo, he was on a gift the other day, and because he plays indoor, and one of our other friends on Twitter caught him having a beer, and then shotgunning a beer, and then throwing it down, and then getting back into placement in his net. So he's quite a professional goalie over there.
Quite a professional drinker, you should have said.
Yeah, I was waiting on that. But yeah, no, I agree with Timo on that one. All right, so let's get into obviously the whole drama with the stands and stuff. I want to let the Portista go first, obviously.
Well, I mean, the first question is, how did that bancada get approved after an ex-mayor, or I don't know what you want to call him in English, vereador,
a surveyor?
He did not allow
Inspector.
it. He didn't allow it for it to be built, and then he left the position, and then the city of Cascais approved it.
Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking. I saw an article.
So the league, and I spoke with Steph, and I think Steph probably he hit the nail on the head. Fizeram lá Vitória a Jet Set. Basically, they went there and they kind of, everything's good. And then they kind of, and obviously they didn't really pay attention to the details. Yeah. I mean, you can see that there was fresh cement put down, so this wasn't something that happened that day.
A surprise, yeah.
There was also tried getting fixed. I'm asking.
Correct. Okay. Prior, so yeah, correct. They probably had to try to get it fixed. But we also saw that if it was a crack because of whatever, we would have saw debris on the ground, and the debris on the ground
was cleaned
there.
up.
It wasn't like rubble. There was. It was basically.
Debris.
It was a very clean mess. Let's put it that way. There was no. And so I think that the bancada, it's not suitable for a game for the first division, second division, third division, or any division. The thing that drives me bananas about this is that the actual public announcer told the fans to go back onto the bancada.
Yeah.
The PSP was telling the fans to walk under the bancada to get out.
What it looked like was that they surveyed the place, and it looked like everything was fine. What looked like, obviously, watching the game.
After those pictures, let me ask you something.
No, not after the pictures. Listen, not after the pictures. I was saying the first impression that you had was that they surveyed the place. They surveyed the place and they thought, okay, this is safe, and they can come back in. That's honestly how it felt like. We didn't know anything about the pictures.
Let me ask the pictures started coming, looked crazy.
Let me ask everybody this question. Would you have gone back on?
No.
If they told you to get back on, would you have gone?
No.
Exactly.
So I'm going to say no with one caveat. Again, I'm a Red Sox fan, and our stadium is old as shit, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Fenway Park is old as shit, and I've been there numerous times. I've been in all the different stands, and you know what? Maybe it's because, Americans, aren't too bright and we do stupid shit. So, which I don't really consider myself American anyway. I know I was born here, but somebody asked me what I am. So Portuguese, it is what it is. You know how it is. But no, I mean, I want to ask Bruno a question, or everyone else, because I don't know the answer to this. I think I do, but I'm not sure if it's accurate. Before every game, the league is it's the league that's supposed to inspect the stadiums. Is that correct?
Correct. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure. So the league sends somebody to every single stadium before every game to inspect its safety, whatever. I'm sure they go, to the Dragão, they go to Alvalade.
They go everywhere. They go to every team.
And they go and there, they probably make sure that the cages, the segurança is I'm holding
secure.
my ear, like it's good, it's good to go, So all right, so it's the league that does that. It's not an independent that the team hires. It's the league.
No,
correct?
it's the delegates. There's the delegates in the league, and they have to go in, and they have to they have to make the decision if it's suitable for public or not.
Okay.
And obviously,
I wasn't positive. I thought that was the case. I just wanted to confirm. Thank you.
Can we assume that this was the first game against one of the big three? Can we assume that having the maximum amount of people in that stand and without the jumping and stuff, that it might have caused something from what was already something? Like, can we say that prior to the game, like the guys went there, they saw the place, and they said, yeah, this is fine. And then during the game, because of all the the jumping and all the the fact that it was overcrowded, or not overcrowded, but maximum
at a good
capacity,
time, yeah.
That it caused something else that actually started this whole thing.
I think it has a lot to do with the amount of people that were on it. I don't think it was suitable for that amount of people. But remember, you watch the Estoril games most of the time at home. That bancada is empty, completely empty.
That's for the away fans.
It's not. I mean, you don't sometimes even see a soul on there. So
I just don't. I don't think we can. I don't know if we blame Estoril for this. I don't know. Like,
can you not? That's their stadium.
Yeah,
they knew about it.
But if
you have fresh cement, you know about it.
But if you fix,
they're liable for everything.
You seem to have fixed.
They're liable.
Okay, Bruno, but listen, if you tell me, hey Peter, like your car is like dropping oil or something, and I go and try and fix it, and the next day I see that it's not dropping oil, and the day after that it's not dropping oil, and the day after that it's not dropping oil, but then suddenly it starts dropping oil again. You can't really blame me for fixing the problem, and then it shows up again. I don't know, like what can we do? Like, do we say that Porto has the right to the 3 points? That's basically what I'm just trying to make the argument.
It's good. Listen, by the rule book, what it says in the rule book, the answer is yes. Because Estoril is liable for what? Listen, let me just say this. It was actually good that Porto didn't score, because if they did score in that first half,
someone would have got hurt, man.
We would be talking about something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Because that bancada would have buckled. That stand would have went down. And
I think the same thing would have happened.
People would have ran?
Because otherwise you would be telling me that this is some kind of inside job, and since Porto was losing, everybody left the place. But if it was tied or Porto was winning, nobody would have moved. That's what
I don't think it has anything to do with the result.
Exactly.
I think this is where.
Say that if Porto
he's saying if Porto scored and they were cheering and jumping and being psycho, it would have caused it to break.
I don't know.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there are some crazy crack photos.
We saw it happen at Ferenc with Benfica.
No, but Cynthia, has nothing even to do with like the craziness of the fans. It's just the amount of weight that was on the stand. Because of the amount of people that were on.
Start jumping, right? Like as soon as you guys all start jumping.
Yeah, because
you're making it more.
Obviously, people started going downstairs to the bathrooms, and they started to see what was going on in the bathrooms. And that's
where the photos that I saw were from the bathroom.
Right.
Like there are urinals, and there's a concrete pillar, and then all around it is broken. I wouldn't go in there, and I wouldn't have my kids there either. You know what I mean? So if it's not safe for my kids, I wouldn't go.
But the crazy part is the public announcer tells everybody after they evacuated to go back on. And then the police were telling people to exit the stadium through the bancada. That you can't do that. I mean, you would have made people go around.
At that point,
you should have made people go around.
At that point, that's just stupidity. Somebody not knowing what the hell they're doing.
Right? Yeah. Like with all that security,
that's just on the police that you can't.
That's if you're putting people into that,
which we saw. I saw that.
See, but I didn't see the photos when it was live. All I saw were people walking down.
We didn't talk about the photos. We only knew
afterwards. Exactly. And so when those started coming out.
Yeah, that's when it got weird. But what I just don't understand is that first of all, the game probably could have continued because they were trying to feed everybody into the stands, and it was
No, you
actually
can't.
looking like
By rules, you couldn't. By rules, you can't.
Fire regulations.
You can't have the same. You can't have two different fans from two different
But
clubs on the same side.
all right, but you could have bended the rules to make that happen. Basically,
bend the rules.
Oh, you could have. Listen, you could have. It would have.
Listen, I know that Benfica fans are very used to bending rules.
Here we go.
Oh, I love that coming from a Portista. I love that. Somebody get
I know that you're used to it.
Can I just say what I was thinking? If you evacuate everyone, evacuate everyone, and you manage, which they were managing to do, put everybody on the other stands, I don't understand why you would review the whole place and bring them back in. That's the thing that there was. Apparently, everybody was sitting, but that doesn't matter. What I was saying is that they were trying to put everybody in the other stands as while they were surveying the place, and then they check out the place and they start calling out people to go back into the stand. That's what I don't understand.
Well, because they were moving into the bancada central of the Estoril, and there was already problems because did you not see the Estoril fans not wanting them there?
No, I know, but why bring him back into that stand and say it's okay? And the people were starting to get organized again.
Very simple, Peter. Because in Portugal, são uma cambada de sapateiros.
They make good shoes.
You get what I'm saying? They make very good choices. They make very good choices, and then this is why tragedies happen constantly.
I'm just sick of blaming incompetence, man, because it seems to be just a trend with everything.
But that's what it is, buddy.
But hold on a second. But Peter, this is what Porto's been arguing all about, because if you look at what, and then this is going back to the emails, you're basically shuffling a back deck of cards. It's always the same guys. They're just getting replaced and put into different positions. But they're all the same guys. These are the corrupt guys that we're constantly talking about. But if it's not one position, they're in another. And then after that, after a certain time, they move. In Portugal, it's very difficult to lose your job because of I mean, let me say something. If that was in America, I don't know how it is in Canada.
Hold on. No.
But
what you're explaining is exactly what happens in the United States. We have politicians who have been in office and have been in their positions for however many years who suck, but yet they keep getting voted in. Why?
They keep on getting right.
You want to know why? Because the voters are incompetent on what they do, on who they vote for. That's the problem.
But this is not voted. This is people being named to positions.
Exactly. So you have people who are incompetent naming people into positions. The problem
agreed.
No, your agree never sounds like you actually agree. It just sounds like you want.
No, agreed. I stand by what Timo said 1,000,000%. I mean, it's the same. You're, like I said, you're shuffling a bad deck of cards. You just keep on moving guys in different positions. But the problem is, like in the United States, the person that made that decision, they would have been fired the next day. Fired. And what happens in Portugal, and me and Steph talked about it previously. Deixa lá. Leave it alone. It's okay. Just don't do it again. Yeah, just don't do it again next time. Don't do it again next time. That's all. But just be a little more careful next time.
I'm just going to be honest, and I blame more. I honestly just blame more the people that were there seeing the stand at halftime and saying that it was okay than the guys that were there pregame. Because honestly, if you're there pregame and you don't see anything, because listen, none of these reports about the cracked this or cracked that came out before the game started, and a lot of the fans go into the bathrooms. It's a common occurrence, so it was something that obviously happened during the first 45 minutes. So I blame much more not the person that said, okay, this stand is good to go before the game, more the guys that wanted them back into it in halftime. That's why I blame.
But what if they didn't even check, man?
What if you didn't even check?
I mean, it looked bad, Peter.
No. So here's a question, and I'm not going to talk bad about anybody. I'm not talking shit because of the team. Mm-hmm. But let's say, Bruno, you went into that bathroom and you saw that before the game. How many fans walk into a bathroom before the game starts? Hey, let me go, take care of something before the game. That's why I don't miss the game. wouldn't anybody have noticed that before the game and maybe said something?
No, but
that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. It's something that happened during the game, surely.
No, but throughout the first half, that's when the problem started.
But it didn't happen pre-game. It didn't happen pre-game. That's what I'm just trying to say. And team's trying to add to too. Because when I went to the best last year, I went before the game.
Hold on a second. It takes a while. It takes a while for everybody. I mean, you're talking about thousands of fans to know what's going on.
That's what I'm just trying to tell you, that I don't know if you can blame someone that said, okay, the stand is good to go when there are no signs of problems on it.
I mean, I personally think the league is, at fault.
Completely responsible. Completely responsible.
And which is why I asked my question when this first came up is, who's responsible to
but if you're responsible, if you make the league responsible, you can't blame Studio.
So if it's no, hold on. I'm not even going that far. If the league is at fault, I know, but if the league is at fault, and if the league truly didn't do shit about it, like they went in there, hey, give me a glass of wine, and over a glass of wine, they said, here's a signature. You're all
or
set.
they didn't even look, right?
You're good to go. No, that's what I mean. Meaning they, instead of doing an inspection like they're supposed to, maybe they just went to the restaurant or went to the bar. Sure. Hey, here you go. Here, it's all set. Then the league needs to be, something needs to happen with the league. Obviously you can't find the league. What do you do? I mean, now I know the Batisters want the 3 points. Not all of them. A lot of my friends who I was talking to about this yesterday said, you know what? No, fuck that. I want Port to turn this around and get that win. I want that. Then there were others, I won't name names on Twitter, who said, oh no, I demand the 3 points. I demand the 3 points. Either way, if Port is given the 3 points or if they earn the 3 points, I'm not against either way. I just don't see how you can put it on Estoril when it's the league. They got the signed paper. They got the document signed by the league. I understand it's their stadium. I understand that. But, I could take a video of right now. I can put you on camera and show you a crack I have, going from my bedroom door up the wall. There's a crack on the wall. It's the house settled.
I've got one on my garage floor, the concrete. Because it gets cold. It happens. Yep.
But this crack I know isn't going to make my house fall down.
Okay, but see, that's the difference.
But that's
not going to make the house fall down.
Maybe Estoril doesn't think that crack under that bancada in that bathroom up the urinal is going to make the bancada fall down.
But if it does,
of course. If the league comes in and the league says, "Hey, you're all set. We're good," you can't then put that on Estoril.
Yeah, and then you can just say, "Hey, guys, no, this is your issue. You're getting.
Do I think it's 3 point? Do I think it's a 3 point deduction or a 3 point forfeit? 3-0. It would be a 3-0. I think is what would be awarded. Yeah. Is it a 3-0 defeat? Is that what Estoril deserves? No, personally, I think they deserve to get fined. And hey, I know you didn't spend $50,000 to fix this, but guess what? You put 2,500 people's lives at risk because of this stupidity. Here's a $25.36 fine, which is the fines in Portugal, which is fucking stupid, But I agree with you, Bruno, where something should have been done, and I agree with you that it's on the league. I also agree with you that if Porto was given the 3 points because of that, would it be bad? No, it's in the rules. It's in the rules, and it's in the rules, plain and simple. However, if the league approved it, I don't see how you can then punish Estoril in game
for the league.
And I'm gonna make that point in game. They're
the home team, so they're always going to get pinched for it, regardless.
No, and I understand that, but they followed the rules and they got somebody to come in and check.
You
somebody to come look at this crack on the wall. Somebody's going to come by my house. I'm going to say, hey, do a homeowner's inspection. They're going to come in here. They're going to see that crack. Their inspector's going to come in and say, yeah, guess what? That's not structural. That's just a crack. It's cosmetic. Who's to say that somebody didn't go into that bathroom or whatever and say, hey, look, it's cracked, but all your other supports that are actually supporting the weight are fine. We don't know that.
Yeah, you can't be at fault and at the same time not be guilty. So
regardless,
basically, what Tim is trying to say is that you can't be part of the problem and then completely put yourself away from it and deduct the 3 points out of someone that actually, if they have 50% of the blame, is already saying a lot, because it's the league's job to go ahead and check the plays. If they give it they say it's okay, you can't just go ahead and say, oh no, you guys are getting deducted the 3 points, even though we were the ones that approved your mess.
It's a very touchy subject. I mean, you're putting it was people's lives at risk.
Yeah, it's a shitty situation.
I know.
I'm not
obviously, but I'm just
saying it's bullshit. But I think it's the league. I think the league is fucking stupid.
That's why you can't. If you're that guy that you were talking about, that was checking out your place. If he's wrong, you can't be blamed.
No, because I told him to do his due diligence.
Exactly. That's what I'm just trying to tell you. You can't go ahead and say Studio should be deducted the 3 points when they were the ones that were in the right. They said, hey, you guys, is this place under? We got to believe that everybody's doing their job, okay? And they go in and they say, hey, is this place suitable for the game? They go ahead and say, yeah, this place is suitable for the game. Then you can't go ahead and blame somebody that doesn't have, it doesn't have the blame, like it's not their fault.
It's like this,
Peter. What I'm trying to get.
Let me ask you something. If you were wearing very slippery shoes like with soles that have no rubber on it, right? And then you
like
walk
flip flops?
Yeah, no rubber. Like you just okay.
He's talking about
you're
the
wearing
fancy shoes
slippery
like
shoes,
mine, that are wooden on the bottom.
right? And then you go into a restaurant and you slip and fall. There's no water. It wasn't wet. It was just hardwood floors. But your shoes are slippery and you fall. Who's liable? The restaurant's going to be liable. You're going to win that lawsuit.
This is why Crocs gave that warning. Don't go on escalator with our Crocs.
But the difference is that you're trying to I guess.
Well, you know what?
That's the thing.
If the floor isn't wet in the United States, if the floor is not wet and I slip and fall, it's my own fault.
He's still going to sue everybody.
No, I'm not an asshole like that. I'd be too embarrassed to even.
Maybe not you, but
walk out. But now
in America, there's a lot of those.
Now, if the floor was wet, if the floor was wet, and there's no sign, then yes, it's on that. It's on them.
Establishment. Sure.
Now, so by your saying where you say it's not wet and you slip and fall. Now, let's say it is wet and there's a sign and you slip and fall. It's still on you because there's a sign there.
No.
So
and
the whole wetness part has a big part of it. Now, the cracks in the wall would technically be that wetness on the floor. However, if a home inspector or the building inspector comes in and says, "Hey, look,
the same day, that's the thing,
you see the beams that are going across one side to the other? That's what's holding this structure up, not this wall."
Were you guys watching live like I was?
But the problem is that there was already repairs being done, obviously, because you could tell by the pictures.
Exactly,
repairs being done.
But those repairs could have been cosmetic. Same thing as this crack on my wall.
Yeah.
So if it's cosmetic, hold on a second. So if it's cosmetic, then
how do I do this? Go ahead.
How do you do what?
You got your camera on, bro. It's on.
All right, I see it now. There we go.
Hold on. If it's cosmetic, then if it's cosmetic, then that's
oh my Lord! Look it. He's showing us the crack in the wall.
He's showing us the crack. Yeah.
Hold on a second. But
well, not his crack. No.
That's what you were hoping for, huh?
I thought you'd catch that.
Go ahead, Bruno. I'm sorry.
Listen, no, but that's the thing. If it was cosmetic, then Studio knew about it, and now Studio is liable for it.
Is not the
Bruno, cosmetic is not structural. There's a big difference.
Foundation one is the one that's
no, because if there's structural damage, but structural
then
Studio has to fix it, and they can.
I understand.
Hold on a second, and they have to close down the stand. They cannot have anybody there because it's under construction.
No,
or it's under remodel.
Listen to me, Bruno. If you have,
if the engineer comes in, a structural engineer, and I'm adding R's where they don't belong. Holy fuck, I'm not from Boston. Jesus. So a structural engineer comes in and deems that crack is not,
Structural.
An impact structurally, okay? It's just a crack. You know, you can have cracks in things and it not be a structural issue. It could just be, hey, look, you know what? That's a stress crack. It doesn't harm, you know, how much weight this thing holds. Okay? It doesn't harm how much the bancada holds.
The one in my garage is from settling.
So they may have come in and said, hey, look, that's fine. That crack is there. It's not impacting any of this. Patch it, paint it, and you're all set. Now, the engineer could have come in and said, hey, look, that crack right there, that's impacting the weight that this can bear. Nobody can go on this. We need you to fix it, but fix it appropriately, which is not just patching.
And if that happened, and if that was the case, now, if that was the case, the league would have
signed the paper. Yeah. They wouldn't have signed the paper saying you're all set to hold this game. But
Peter,
one would hope.
Hold on a second. We don't know that we have to now find out if Estoril actually reported this to the league, or did the league, close their eyes, turn their eyes.
Bruno, either way, it's always the league's fault.
No, because if Estoril has to report it, then Estoril is liable.
Bruno, if they before every single game have to check every single stand, and they see that and they don't report it, then it's the league's fault because they survey every single stadium before the game. Yeah. Every single day, like every single game. So it's the league's fault always. Because what they could say is that, hey, you guys, the stead is not going to uphold. You can't have the game here. Either you talk to Porto or you lose the 3 points.
But it's not only Porto. Forget about who they're playing.
Everybody has pleasantries. Of course, if you're the league, you're going to say, hey, you guys need to change the location of this game or you're going to lose the 3 points. They're always going to do that. I said Porto because they were playing Porto. I could have said Benfica. Basically, if the league sees something that is structural, they're going to tell Estoril, hey, you guys need to change the location or you're going to lose the 3 points.
Okay, but now we have to find out if there was a report made.
Is there an investigation into it?
No, but it's not about a report, Bruno, because if it's the league's responsibility to inspect every single stadium, as you told me before we had this conversation, then now it's no longer on Estoril, it's on...
Always on the league.
They should have been there, as you said, to inspect the structures or to inspect the safety, okay, of the establishment, of the stadium, of the stands, of everything, right? So if the Liga did in fact do that, and they didn't think that was, dangerous,
a problem,
then that's on the Liga. We can't put that on Estoril. Now that we know it may have settled even more with all those fans on there, A, those fans need to go on a diet. B, now Estoril should shut that bancada down and be forced to repair it appropriately.
Yep.
Now, if they had another game after being told it's
that's when you gotta deduct the
not points. Sound. Now they get their ass handed to them.
Yeah.
However, before like this game here, I don't think you can go after them for that. Especially if it's on the league to do the inspection, and then the league turned their back to it.
If you're talking about a private inspector, you could say that still bribed them. But if we're talking about the league, then they were the ones that operated the whole situation and surveyed the place. So you can't blame it. That's what we're trying to say. Is that, for example, Bruno, if you have a restaurant and you have a crack, and you bring in a guy and he says, hey, okay, this is all good. You don't have to worry about it. You're not going to worry about it. But if he comes in and he says, hey, this is a structural thing, you're going to have to shut the whole place down. And you don't shut it down, then you're going to get fined and, you're probably going to go to jail and all that shit.
Yeah.
Well, right now we're just all speculating because we got to figure out if it was reported, not reported. We don't know nothing. We don't know none of the details.
But where's this report?
It doesn't matter
from?
if it's reported, though.
The report, like you're trying to say, is that Estoril should have reported that. No, the Liga did an inspection.
If the Liga goes
that's assuming the Liga did the inspection.
Yeah, assuming that the Liga did their job. Of course, because we got to assume.
We have to assume because that's their job before every game.
Right. If they didn't, but regardless how it is, look, Porto could play the game. Hold on a second. Porto could play the game right now. The second half. I mean, the second half. Yeah. They can lose 5-0. At the end of the day, if after this whole inspection is done and all this investigation,
they could still be awarded.
Porto could still get the 3 points.
Which is bullshit, because to me, you can't blame someone who the thing that I'm trying to say is that
Vai tu pra bancada.
Not that, Bruno. What I'm trying to say, if your father fucks up, you can't be held responsible for it. And this is exactly the same case. If the Liga, which is the main person in this whole thing, the main, the big daddy, whatever you want to call it, if they are the ones that approve that, the son cannot be punished for something that the Liga, the father,
it's in the
did.
Rules.
No, it's probably in the rules. What's probably in the rules is the league is saying this place cannot have a game.
All right, so I think we've beat this to death.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I'm going to ask it anyway, my man. Why is the Liga Portuguesa, Liga Nós, whatever the fuck you want to call it? Why are all the teams and why is the Liga? Why are they such a bunch of babies where they couldn't have played that game the following day elsewhere? I don't get that.
Well, no, that was
bullshit.
Porto. No, hold on a second.
No, that's fine.
I'll answer the question. Porto refused to play because Porto has to play on Friday.
But you know what? Fuck the rules, right? Because the rules only apply. They have to play the next 36 hours.
But that's where I'm getting to. That's why I made that point. It should have been played yesterday. Should have been played the next day, the second half. But here's why
they have to come to an agreement.
It has to. No. 36 hours. But go on, team.
Calma. So here's my real reason for saying what I did. Why is it that the Portuguese league is the only league that the teams refuse to play games without a 72-hour break? Fucking Leicester City played on Sunday, then played again yesterday. Why are we the only league in this world that has to
because
have
we're
72
tired
hours between games? Why?
And it's not even that, team. If you know the rules, there's the 36 hours period where the game has to be played, and that rule was never ever used. Not for Benfica, not for Porto, not for Sporting, except if you want to take that time where Benfica had the stadium issue and they played, I think, the next day or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say that happened that game.
Yeah, but most of the time, when a game can't be played, and I think you all remember a couple of years back where Porto were playing in Setúbal and the ball couldn't move, so the game was postponed like 2 months later when it should be played in the next 36 hours.
Mm-hmm. What if the field is not? What if the field is not ready in the next 36 hours?
You change location, play somewhere else, my man. Dude, nothing.
And it was due to rain, bro. It was just due to rain.
Portugal. Come on, how many stadiums they have?
Tons of stadiums.
You have 36 hours. And you know what? And o Jamor is not far away. They're really close.
The way I look at it at this point, the Liga should have the right to tell the teams where to play. So let's just say that the closest stadium to fit those guys, to fit them, was to be, Benfica. The Liga should have the right to say, hey, you know what? We're finishing this game there. Obviously, that would never happen. We know it. But the Liga should have some type of say in that case. My opinion. Mm-hmm. I mean,
no.
Unfortunately, in Portugal, the teams, the fans, everybody, unless you follow the same team, you're all at arms with each other. Exactly. You're all against each other.
It's always fighting.
It's not like that as much in the U.S. sports or other sports, in my opinion. I see, or even in other countries. Where soccer is played.
Like
Portugal seems to be the worst country when it comes to uniting and actually for the common good, where it be for anything. I mean, I think
when we should be able to try to do that with Pinta Costa, they all got slandered for trying to save the league when they were going to save the league, because those two were working together and it's impossible for them to work together, and they were going to save the league.
Yeah,
because the league didn't have funds.
I'm against that, dude. You know what? I'm against our league and how bitchy and juvenile so many things are. It's, you see teams, again, even eternal rivals, teams that hate each other, with the vitriol, why two presidents of those teams? Okay, Luís Vieira, Pinta Costa. Luís Vieira, Bruno Carvalho. I'm going to call him that because I like calling that. Why can't these guys be civic and sit near each other at a stadium?
They're worse than children.
Really? Come on, man. I mean, the two of you can't sit side by side for 90 minutes?
Nope.
Like, really? I mean, I understand, there's passion, but you take it a bit far, my dude. I've seen, Luis Vieira always in his typical seat, and then Pinto Costa, Benfica sits all the way in the back. Why? I'm like, you guys don't have to like each other.
But at least
you guys can be
Timo, when they needed to stick together, they actually stuck together. Because I don't know if you guys, and I think we got to shut the podcast off in a couple of minutes. But if you guys remember, the league didn't have funds, or supposedly wasn't going to have funds to have the league. And Benfica and Porto both said that they would pay for the league to be played, and those two were united, and it ended up not happening.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they had,
but if they have
an agreement amongst the two, it just says those two teams stepped up. I mean,
yeah.
I don't want two teams stepping up. I want those two. You know what? Don't be afraid to work together. It's better for the country. It's better for the freaking for the league.
You also got to understand, Timo, one thing. Portugal is the only country in Europe, or the Portuguese league is the only country, or the only league in Europe that's not run by the federation.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
Wait. What about the League Cups then? That's stupid. And why do you have League Cups? Because you have League Cups in Germany, you have League Cups in
it don't matter. It don't matter. That's just the name of it, and it could be run by the federation. It still could be run by the federation because at the end of the day, it is still a league.
But you guys know that we were run by the federation until 2009, maybe.
No.
The year that they dropped the Keeners was when I think they made the distinction.
Who? They dropped who?
The Keeners, the emblem.
The emblem on the when you were champion, it used to be the shields and all that, and they changed it.
I think it was before
to that egg. I think it was around that
time.
No,
it had to be before.
No,
it had to be before because remember, because Pinto Costa was once the president of the league. He was the president of Porto and president of the league, and then it was Valentin Loureiro. He was the president of the league.
How the fuck was that even a thing?
They voted him. All the clubs voted him in.
That's crazy talk.
So,
all right, I don't know, but that's a good question. But it's just there's so much wrong with Portugal. But at the end of the day, I just find it hard to blame something that obviously Studio is at fault. They're always at fault, but you can't. Like you would be at fault if you had a restaurant and you had a crack on it. But if somebody tells you that it's okay,
are we going back to that?
No, I'm just gonna say because we need to close out. So I was just finishing up.
Yep.
I was just finishing up the whole thing. That was it. That was
Tim. Always an asshole.
It was the fucking closing assessment.
That was your closing remark. Jeez, pick something better, dude.
No, bro.
Right?
That's it. I don't know. I don't know though. We've had Steph quiet. I don't know if he's even here. So I just want to hold on. Check
I was going to say the same thing.
Okay, then
that's what he usually says,
Okay, well, we gotta close it off anyway. So we missed out on the Montero signing for Sporting and Lisandro leaving Benfica, but we'll talk about that more when it comes to the end of the transfer window. We'll discuss a couple more things. But anyway, Timo, I want to thank you for joining us. Obviously,
wait, we got predictions, man. Predictions.
There you go.
What do you guys play?
We play
Setúbal.
Jesus,
no.
Tondela.
No, they play Setúbal. Sporting plays Setúbal.
Go Tondela.
All right. Predictions.
We play Tondela.
Tondela. Predictions.
You play.
Bruno.
Are you at home?
Tondela,
home, obviously.
Yeah, I think it's going to be it's going to be a very difficult game. I think Pippa's going to come in and defend. He's going to park the bus. I say Porto wins 1-0 very late.
Is Brahimi fit for that game or not? Because if
he should be.
A scoreline. Okay, 3-0 then.
Epa.
I have to give my prediction for that game too?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. You got
it. Porto,
you don't get off easy though.
2-0 Porto.
It doesn't matter. Okay, 2-0 Porto. All right, Cynthia.
I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna say 1-0 for Tondela. It's just gonna be a squeaker, and then they're just gonna park the bus, and Bruno's gonna be upset, and it's gonna be great.
just something. Porto is gonna have to be worried because if they drop more points, they're always gonna have that loss to Estoril at halftime. It's still gonna be looming over their head. Anyway, I believe Sporting plays Setúbal.
Yes.
No.
Yep. Yes.
No.
They play away.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Polish.
Yes. Benfica.
You're incorrect,
That's right.
Bruno.
Benfica plays.
No, I don't know why I was thinking Benfica was playing Setúbal this week. I don't know why.
No.
We play them in like 2 weeks or something.
We play Chaves.
Yeah, we play Chaves. So I think Benfica wins 3-1. I don't know if that's too much, but Timo.
See, I'd rather predict the other team because with Benfica, what Benfica are we getting? But
yeah, exactly.
You can see the one that we've had for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say after these 2 games, I'm feeling a bit more confident. I say Benfica 2-0.
Cynthia.
You stole my line. I was going to say 2-0.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to still say 2-0.
Bruno.
1-0.
Because Parma's a bad
No, Chaves not that type of team.
All right.
1-0. No, I think Benfica will win 1-0.
Okay.
Wow, a victory, with merit.
Penalty.
You got a standing ovation.
Now you ruined
penalty
it.
fora jogo.
Wait, are we past those now?
Penalty.
No.
Penalty fora jogo.
Why didn't we talk about that penalty?
What penalty?
The one that was offsides.
That was last year, bro.
Was it last year or was it this year?
I think it was last year. They were just making the comparison.
Which one?
Abbas Dos had a penalty last year where he got tripped up, but he was offside.
That was all over Twitter for some reason.
Yeah, because of the
but the ruling is different.
Yeah, the ruling.
If he comes in offside position and then he gets a penalty, it should be called a penalty.
No, it should not.
It's offside. It's offside.
It's where
he takes advantage of his position.
It's where the play was born. If the play was born in an offside position, it can never be an onside play now. That's not the rule. The rule is it's still an offside.
Yeah. All right, and
I think they changed the rule. I'm almost
so if Portugal changed the rule, then it wouldn't surprise me because it's Portugal. But FIFA law, anytime a play is offside to begin with, it does not change the play.
It's a FIFA thing.
Yeah, it's a FIFA thing, bro. It's a FIFA thing always, Timo. Portugal can't change the rules.
Dude, I know that. I'm busting his balls. FIFA would never change that.
All right. So anyway,
I'm telling you because they're talking about. Hold on, they were talking about the Benfica with Jonas.
I think he's
this weekend.
I think he's onside.
He's offside. But there was a penalty first.
No, he's
not onside. He's offside.
He's onside to me. He's onside to me. I think he's onside. I think he's
just
barely onside.
He could be 5 yards offside. You'll still say he's onside.
But if he's offside, he's offside, then it's not a penalty. So it doesn't matter.
So Setúbal Sporting, who's winning that game?
I think it's going to be a draw.
1-1. Yeah.
Yep.
I like the draw.
I was going to say 1-1. I'll say 0-0.
I was with you guys on the 1-1.
Yeah, I'm with 1-1. Let's go.
All right,
0-0.
Does not show up.
I don't think Steffi's here to defend his.
No, he's not because clearly he'd be yelling at us.
So it is what it is. But I'm pretty
he
sure
would be all over the studio.
Steph would say something as in, it's going to be a very difficult game, but Sporting still have the better team, so they should come out with a win. So something that Steph would say, something like that. So
I know he's very political. It looked like a 50-50. It looked like a 50-50.
It's going to be 0-0. It's going to be, but remember, Crusado's coming to town, and we all know Crusado in his allegiance.
All right. So, Timo, I want to thank you for coming on this week.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Great insight. I love how you were, you go straight at everybody and it went straight at Bruno, so not surprising.
That's fantastic.
That was nice.
Hey, Bruno, are you on Twitter?
No, he doesn't have Twitter. He doesn't like Twitter.
Thank God.
No, he's on Facebook.
No,
thank God.
Nah.
You can follow him on Facebook. You can follow him on Facebook.
I don't have Facebook, so.
Yeah, me neither. So, but anyway.
Twitter is my only thing.
That's good. Anyway, so thank you, Timo. Thank you, Bruno. Thank you, Cynthia. And thank you, Steph, wherever you are. If you're listening back to this,
wherever you are, Steph.
Sporting.
Hey, Bruno, it was a pleasure, my man.
Pleasure, my friend.
Guys. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Sounds good.